Hey guys, welcome back to Freaky Friday, and today I'm going to be talking about my past paranormal experiences from the previous building that I used to stay at. Now, why I feel that this building is haunted, or at least that for sure my experiences have been completely paranormal, is because of the history that has been attached with this building. Even while the building was constructing, a construction worker or an architect allegedly fell off from a high floor because of the force of the wind, which makes me even more scared of heights and scared for these construction workers, because it's quite a dangerous task. So I must elaborate a little bit on the history of this building, and I want to just say I don't want to exploit the deaths of any of these people. I just wish that they have rest in peace now, but for purely informative purposes I want to talk about their deaths. So the first person who suicided from this building was a maid, and she was a person who felt trapped. Allegedly, the household that she worked for did not allow her to take any leaves or for her to go to visit her family very often. And also there has been a rumor that the same household had appointed a bodyguard for their household, and that bodyguard allegedly, I'm not saying for sure, had raped her as well. So she felt completely tortured and trapped, and that's why she thought the best thing to do was suicide, which is quite sad. And what's even more compelling is that my sister saw her body fall down because at the gym you could actually see the ground floor. You can actually see the ground floor from the gym. So she actually saw that woman fall down. And what's worse is she fell off and then she hit a ledge and then fell on the ground, which is just completely horrifying, and her guts were everywhere. It was severely traumatizing. I'm so glad my parents did not allow me to see her body. I was quite inquisitive at that time because I just don't know, kids are weird, dude. So yeah, it was quite traumatizing, and honestly I don't wish that up on anyone, really. And I feel like suicide is not the answer. Please try to get some help if you cannot find it. It's okay, just try harder, you just need to. Suicide is a permanent answer for a temporary problem, so please be sure to find help if you feel compelled to suicide or harm yourself. Anyway, so the second death that took place was somebody that I actually knew myself, and that person was younger than me, and he used to study in my mom's tuitions that she used to take at that time. So he was quite an amazing sweet boy, and he passed away because he felt quite depressed. After his dog went for training, he felt completely lonely, and that's why he decided to suicide. And what's worse is they don't even know how he fell, because the way that he fell and dropped to death is quite mysterious, and the police just can't figure out how it happened. So I hope his soul is resting in peace too. On top of that, his mother was feeling completely depressed. They had twins after he passed away, and everybody thought that she would feel better, but what happened is that she had a kind of a vision of him calling her, and that's why she fell down. And she didn't directly fall to death. A car was coming and she hit inside the windshield, so she was stuck in the windshield while the people were driving, which is even horrifying for both of the parties, and just devastating. And she was put out of her misery, thankfully, and she's now not in this world. And I just want to say that I really hope that they are at peace right now, and I don't mean to exploit them at all whatsoever. I just thought that you guys should have a clear background of what happened, and I still do pray that they're resting peacefully now, all of them. And supposedly even after all of these deaths, there was one more death that took place, and because of all of these deaths and stuff, my mom just felt completely depressed and sad, and she just felt very dark over there, and I could say I did too, and that's why we shifted, along with a lot of other reasons. Now that I've had the history out of the way, I just wanted to talk about my personal experiences. Now, I used to stay on the first floor, and on the ground floor there was this spot in an extreme corner that I could actually see from my bedroom as well, and that corner was extremely dangerous. It just had this something was wrong with that place kind of feeling, you know. And me and my friends have spent countless hours over there investigating it. It has some kind of fucked up shit. So if you want me to talk about it, leave a like and let me know in the comments below as well. I will completely make a different video for that altogether. So yeah, in this house, in my bedroom, was the first time I ever had a sleep paralytic attack. In case you don't know what sleep paralysis is, I have made an entire video about it and my worst experience as well. So I will put a card up here, you can click it right now, and I will also link it in the description. So in this house was the first time I ever had sleep paralysis, and it's said, I feel like sleep paralysis is our human comprehension of being in an interaction with the spirit. And I feel like when I had my first sleep paralytic attack, it was quite awful, because being a kind of shy and reserved kind of child, along with all the mess that happens in the daily life, this having sleep paralytic attacks used to be such an unrest. It really did. And at night, even when I used to try to fall asleep, I just felt like most people, when they're having sleep paralytic attack, feel like there's something that's pushing them down. But I used to feel like someone's trying to take my soul away from my body, like someone is forcing me to astral project. So that was quite horrible as well. I just felt like there was something that didn't want me there, you know, not in an aggressive way, just wanted to take me somewhere else rather than being here. In case you're understanding what I'm trying to say, it wanted to take me somewhere, and I was not ready to go to that place for sure. So yeah, one night what happened is I was not able to fall asleep at all whatsoever, because I just felt completely impatient, and I didn't feel peaceful at all whatsoever. I felt like there was this spirit in the room, or at least a vibe in the room, that spirit in the room just did not want to rest. It did not want peace. It wanted to create havoc and unrest in the entire place. So I just felt completely uncomfortable feeling the vibe of such a spirit. So I decided to go and sleep beside my mother. My mother doesn't stay in Mumbai right now, but I'm so glad that she was there at that time, because without her I would have not been able to fall asleep, and I would have totally experienced the same thing as my sister, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. So because I felt completely at unrest, I went to my mom to feel a little bit better, and obviously a mom's embrace is everything, makes everyone feel much better. So when I was in her embrace, I felt a bit better. My breath is still heavy. I just feel as heavy as I did that day, because it just felt so uncomfortably anxious, you know. I felt completely anxious. I didn't feel right. I just decided that I should just account it for something that is just in my brain. I felt like I'm a kid, these things keep on going on, you know. So I was just like, you know, let's just leave this behind. Maybe I'm just getting scared for no reason. I just went to my mom and slept beside her in her room. Now, about her room, I just want to quickly tell you guys, a lot of times people say when there's a demonic position, as like demonic haunting as such, there is a really foul smell. And my mom's and my dad's bedroom had a washroom, and that washroom used to have a horrible stench. So I think it can be accounted for that. I'm just dropping it by. I'm not telling you that's probably why it had that horrible stench, but I said maybe that's why that had a horrible stench. So yeah, that night I went to sleep beside my mom, and my sister was sleeping in our room. So in our room we still have our maid and my sister and me, because our maid was too scared to sleep alone for some reason that she did not want to disclose. So like me and my sister and her used to sleep. So I went that night, slept beside my mom. So my sister and that maid were sleeping in their room. So our maid was sleeping near the cupboard, and there was another cupboard. So like over here too, I have this huge wardrobe over here where we keep our clothes, and over there we have our it's like a cupboard where we keep our books and our bags and stuff. So my sister was sleeping near that, and the maid was sleeping near this. Now what happened is that they were hearing these sounds, and they were like constant mumbles, and I used to hear them too. I used to hear a little girl's voice who used to just kind of like hum things, just speak gibberish that I couldn't understand. And I felt like it was just something in our brain, and you know, sometimes when we're thinking things and they just suddenly become out loud, and you can just hear them out loud as if some real person said it. So I thought I was the only person, but one of my friends said that it happened to them too. Not in that house as like particularly, but yeah, things like that do happen. So yeah, so that place I could hear a little girl's voice used to mumble and just say gibberish and just murmur. And that night even my sister heard something like that, and she heard a man's voice, and he didn't sound like he was Indian as such. He just sounded like he was a foreigner, and he had a weird accent. He was murmuring something, he was kind of whispering something in a really weird way, and she was just feeling so uncomfortable, and she was just feeling at unrest. It felt very aggravating and unnerving to be in her place, you know. So the next day we were discussing this with our mom. My sister was telling our mom this happened, and the worst part is our maid said that she heard the same thing from the cupboard that was near her. So definitely there's something up over there in that house. It just feels so negative. Some of the worst moments of my life I've had over there, and I feel like spirits and all kinds of entities, they kind of like to knock you down when you're at your worst, you know. So I felt like they were just making things even worse for us and bringing even more negativity into our lives. And it's like that time I told you guys about the negative entity that I felt, you know. It just felt completely unnerving and just horrible to be around such an energy and an entity. And I'm not saying that it's completely valid. Maybe all of us just feel delusional, you know, but I feel like along with the history and the fact that a lot of people have felt the same way as we have, I feel like there's definitely something wrong. Just the vibe of the building is quite weird. So like, yeah, once me and my sister's friend were sitting and talking, my sister just went inside. So my sister's friend asks me, he's like, do you hear that? And I was like, yeah, I do. It was someone making a, like, it's just like, you know, when you're living with someone, you can just hear their, like, them walking around in the kitchen doing stuff, you know. You can hear sounds like that, and that time it was just the three of us, and my sister was in the washroom, so she couldn't be making noises in the kitchen, right? So we were hearing those noises from the kitchen and just someone moving around like that. And he was like, you hear that, right? And I was like, yeah, I hear that. And he was like, are you not going to do anything about it? He's like, no, it's nothing. Even if I go and check it, it's going to be nothing. And the thing is, I used to be home alone all the time, so that would just make things worse for me. So I tried my best not to pay attention to things like that, but sometimes, you know, things like that can really be something paranormal, so you should look out for it for sure. So yeah, that was it. I definitely have more experiences from the same building, so I will make more videos about it. If you wish to know more, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to check out my previous video, which is my video where I do my makeup for the first time, or if you want to watch more paranormal videos, the last video I did, which was from Freaky Friday series, was the urban legend of the ghost of the lady in a white sari. So yeah, I will link those two down below, and let me know in the comments if you want to know more about this particular building and my paranormal experiences from those buildings. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and share it and subscribe, because I make videos every single week. Thank you so much for watching. Stay slaying.